Guys and gals, hey! Welcome to another episode of Star Power Baseball. I'm your host, Cincinnati Dennis, coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room. And today, I'm going to be playing a game of Star Power Baseball. Now that we've gone through 29 videos of the rule book, updated rules, everything's there. Today, we are going to enact the new rules so we can show you how they test. We're going to be using new strategy cards. We're going to be using the rules as they come, and if we need to, we'll look it up. So the game today is going to be between a very mismatched, better look into the camera here, very mismatched two teams. The first team ranks out at 267 points. 25 guys, 267 points. It's called Rage. Their starting lineup will be Ty Cobb, Oscar Charleston, Ted Williams, Sadahara O, Heavy Johnson, Andres Jimenez, Vern Stevens, Nolan Arenado, and Biz Mackey doing the catching. Their pitcher is going to be a lefty from the Tigers of way back named Ed Killian. They're going to be playing a team called Terror, who checks in at 141 points. So it's a 126-point deficit that Terror will have. They're going to have Willie Keeler, Rod Carew, Cal McVeigh, Harmon Killebrew, Irish Musell, Glenn Davis, Bill Freehan, Stephen Drew, and Odabe McDowell. Their pitcher is going to be Leroy Matlock of the Negro Leagues. Rage will be the home team, and to start this off, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be kind of shifting back and forth. I'm going to try to go, if there's any type of question, I'm going to slow down and do it, explain it to you. So that's how I'll do. Now that I know that these are working and everything's fine, I'm going to take these puppies off because I don't need to use them anymore because I can hear everything. I'm going to settle in and I'm going to get ready to play. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do in this game is I'm going to shrink me down here to a manageable size. See if I can find me. There I am. I'm going to shrink me down to a manageable size, and I'm going to get right in the middle of the infield. So the base runners will be moving around me. Okay? You can see my game board that I have out here. It's the Hall of Fame limited edition game board. And you can see I have my fatigue counters out as well as my respins. Matlock is an S8 plus 2 and Killian is an S8 plus 1. So I've got my counters out there. Everything is ready to go. Let's see, do I have that on the board? There we go. My respins, I have to stay over this way some. Tell you what I'm going to do to remedy that. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to expand that just a tad. There we go. And now we can see the dice, and you see the gray dice on one side, and I can put that back where it goes, and that keeps the respins. The first thing that we're going to do is snag the event card because we are using the handicap chart. That's one of the things that I did with this particular league is I enacted using the handicap chart. So let me pull that up for us. Okay, there's the handicap chart. And I'm going to get, according to this, since it's 80 or more, I'm going to get 4 spins. I'm going to take that handicap chart and I'm going to shrink it down so that we can watch the spins. Okay, I'm going to put the spinner over here on this side so we can watch it go. And let's begin, okay? First spin on the handicap chart, and I'm going to move me out of the way too. Let's move Dennis. Let's move him out of the way. The first spin is a number 8. Number 8 says, this team's manager is ejected from the game at the pregame conference at home plate. May not use any offensive strategy cards, nor may it challenge at all during the game. So this team is so bad today and so upset about what's going on that Terror cannot even have a manager. Let's see what the second one's spin is. The second spin is a number 2. Nothing happens. On the third spin, so we're ejected on a manager. On the third spin, it's a number 7. One player on this team may substitute any of his single season cards for his lifetime card. So we'll put the single season cards right up here that we can use. And the fourth spin is a 12. And that is one pitcher and one position player on this team gains an additional respin for this game. So that's where we stand right now in this particular one. They get one player who's going to be on their team that gets to substitute his lifetime card for a single season card. And they're going to do that with their catcher, Bill Freehand. Freehand is batting in the 7 hole, and he normally gets no respins, and today he's going to get 2 respins, and he goes to a C44. So we'll put him in the lineup. And now I always wait until the lineups are announced on this before I spin on the handicap chart. I always wait till the lineups are announced. So let's make this big again in case I need to get into the rule book. Okay, and then I'm going to shrink it down. Then I'm going to take it out of play. And we're going to put me back in the center of the game board here. Let's try to get it done right. I will be there. And we're ready now to play the game. And the first thing that we do when we play the game, I'm going to do this so I can really see this real well. I'm going to get to this screen here. That way I can see the spins very well. You'll see me looking over this way because I've got this on the big screen and I can really see the spins real well. Okay, first thing we're going to do is spin for an injury. If it lands on the 1, we have an injury in the game. The spin lands on the 6. There will not be an injury right yet, a scheduled injury in this game. So I'll put that event card away and I'm going to get ready to play the game. Leading off, Willie Keeler. He's a sack 3. Let's do this right here. He's a sack 3 and a 55 plus. So the defense is going to move the third baseman in. Their third baseman is a 1-2, that's Killebrew. And they're also going to move the first baseman in, and he's a 32, that's Glenn Davis. So both of those are in preventing the bunt. I am in dead bunt defense right now. Bunt prevention defense. Keeler says to Killian, spin the pitcher. He's not going to try to bunt. Killian spins. His result is B. That means Keeler gets to spin. Keeler spins away and gets a fly ball. 8 is a fly ball. I will now spin the outfield card. If it lands on the E, that's an error. Anywhere else, it's a fly out. It lands on not the E, so that is a fly out for Willie Keeler. 1 out. Next batter up is Rod Carew. He is a sack 343. He has, you got to look at his card, a good size 12, a good size 2. They're both about equal, so if I only pull one in, it won't matter. But I'm going to pull both of them in again in bunt prevention defense. Carew says that's great, spin the pitcher. So we're going to spin the pitcher. He spins an X. That means Carew is hit by a pitch. Now, I have a pitching coach over here because my manager is Leo DeRocher, and he's a manager that has 2 challenges and 3 coaches. I could respin that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let that happen. We're going to spin the event card. If it lands on the 1, Carew will deem an injury. Let's see where it lands. It lands on the 9, so Carew, his only thing hurt is his pride. So he goes to first base on a hit batter. Got to keep the score here. Okay, so Carew is a 43, so I'm going to go grab a 4, and I'm going to grab a 3. Put it there. So he's a 43 runner. I'm going to move him over so I can see him. 43 runner. He's not been hurt, but the pitcher will lose a pip because he allowed a base runner. So we have a runner on first and 1 out. That brings up Cal McVeigh. He's a sack 0, 25 plus. So with Carew, now we have a catcher down here that's Biz Mackey. He's a catcher 45. So I don't think I'm going to run yet. They're going to hold the base runner on. They will hold him on, stay back at third. They won't move in at third base. Biz Mackey is a pretty quick, so he might not hit into a double play, but then he might. So what they're going to do is they're going to send Rod Carew, because Cal McVeigh doesn't strike out often. So they're going to send him on the hit and run. There's the hit and run card. We spin it, and it lands on the F. That's a foul ball, spin the pitcher. So the hit and run failed. Pitcher now spins. The pitcher spins a B. Cal McVeigh gets to spin. And it lands on the 14. That's an infield pop-up for the second out. That brings up the cleanup hitter for Terror, and that is Harmon Killebrew. Now, I could send Carew, but with Killebrew batting, I really like him to have a shot at hitting one, so I'm going to say spin the pitcher. They're holding him on. Spinning the pitcher. They spin a hit minus. We need to scoot over just a tad. There we go. That's a hit minus. So any type of hit that Killebrew gets, he'll have to respin. He spins and gets a 7. Gets a 2. That's a ground ball pulled. That'll go to this side of the infield. They haven't been moved. That's the third out. I don't need to make any further spins. That's an out. So you put the ground out there and a 0 there. And that top half of the first inning is in the books. Okay. That brings us up to now the bottom of the first. Leading off for Rage, Ty Cobb, sack 355 plus, just like Keeler was. So they're going to move in at first and third. Their defense, at first base, they have Glenn Davis is a 32, Killebrew's a 1-2. So they're going to leave the first and third baseman in. Oh, on the other team, I looked the other wrong guys up. The first baseman on the Rage is Sadahar O at a 45 and Nolan Arenado at a 55. But anyway, Ty Cobb is the batter. The infield's moved in. Cobb is going to try to drag bunt even with the infield pulled in. So we'll get the drag bunt card out and we spin the outer ring of the drag bunt card. The outer ring of the drag bunt card says sack 3. So Cobb is a sack 3, as you can plainly see. He's a sack 3. We get to choose for the offense either the G or the F. The G is the balls on the ground. The F is foul ball, spin the pitcher. They're going to take the G. They now go to the inner circle for the result. The spin on the inner circle lands on the X. The X is Ty Cobb. You were thrown out at first base. 1 out. How about that? Ty Cobb tried to bunt, and they threw him out at first base. 1 away. Next is Oscar Charleston. He is also a sack 3, 55 plus. They're going to move in at the corners. Oscar's not going to try to bunt. He says spin the pitcher. Leroy Matlock spins, and it's a G. G is a ground ball. Spin the error spin. If it lands on the E, it's an error, and it lands on the E. That is an error. Now, you don't have a manager on the terror team because he's been thrown out of the game. That means his coaches are also gone. So there's no respins on strategy cards for terror because the manager's been thrown out. So Oscar Charleston reaches on an error, and now we spin a location spin to see who it's on, and the error is on the third baseman, Harmon Killebrew. So it's an E5. The error is on the killer. And Oscar Charleston, who is a 5.5 plus, is standing at first base. That brings up, oh, and you lose a pip over here because the guy reaches base. That brings up Teddy ball game. There is no danger of Teddy bunting. He's a sack 2, but he's a 1-3, and Teddy likes to swing the bat. So he's going to go into the batter's box. They're going to hold on Oscar Charleston. That's all. Ted's not going to bunt. Oscar Charleston is looking at Bill Freehand, who's a C44, and he says, I am going to try to steal second base. So he brings out the stealing bases card, and you go to the outer ring, that is stealing second base. And here we go. The outer ring says S, that is safe. That's a successful stolen base. So Charleston's all the way down to second base. Charleston, ha ha, do the Charleston. And Ted Williams says, spin the pitcher. Leroy Matlock spins, and it's a G, a ground ball. Now with the runner on second, this ground ball's anywhere. Let's see, we'll do a location spin first. Inner circle. Let's see where it's going. Ball is hit to the first baseman, okay? Runner on second, less than 2 outs. He will advance on anything except the D. He'll move up. Here we go. Or the F. The F will hold him also. But it's a white space. It's a total white space. On a white space, he'll advance. Okay? If it was a hit to this side and it was a white space, he would hold. But since it's to the right side, white space, he moves over. And that's the second out in the inning. So you have a ground out for Teddy ball game. And now you have a runner on third with 2 outs. And that brings up feared Japanese slugger Sadahara O. They're not going to move the infield. He's not going to bunt. Matlock spins away. Spin the pitcher, and he spins a home run minus. Sadahara O spins, and spins a, looks like a 13. A 13 is a single. Now Matlock could make him respin, or he could eat this. And I think because O is such a threat to hit the ball out of the yard, he's going to let this one go, and a run crosses the plate. O takes first, and an unearned run caused by an error and a stolen base crosses the plate. Losing a pip, scoring a run. Sadahara O is a 2-2 base runner. Put him out there. You don't lose a pip, my bad. You lose a pip. There we go. All right. So, next batter is a guy called Heavy Johnson from the Negro Leagues, a sack 344. They're going to play bunt prevention because this guy can bunt. So they're going to hold on Sadahara O. They're going to bring the third baseman Killebrew in to prevent Heavy Johnson from bunting. And the offense is going to declare full count, hit and run. So with a full count, the defense now moves back. Okay? So the defense moves into regular defensive position, and we bring out the hit and run card. On this card now, anything except batter misses pitch, and you'll spin the pitcher, the runner's going. Batter misses pitch will be strike 3. Let's see what happens. Spin the pitcher. Spinning Leroy Matlock. Matlock spins a home run minus. Heavy Johnson spins. And it looks like a double. And it is a double. 11 is a double. So because Sadahara O's running, he has a chance to score. Now, the pitcher over here, Leroy Matlock, does have 2 respins. He could make Heavy Johnson respin that. But instead, he's not going to. They're going to let this one ride. So, here comes Sadahara O, and the coach is waving him on. So we pull out the outfield card, which is already in the spinner, to see where the double goes to. The double goes to center field. The center fielder is Odeby McDowell. He's a 5-2. So now, you can still elect to play it safe right now and throw the ball to third, because he's going to try to score with 2 outs. He's going in. So the defense could actually try to play safe, but instead, they're going to try to get him. Here's the play. Let's see what happens. I have R4. Odeby McDowell is an R2. So the offense will get to choose between the A and the X. Well, the offense is going to choose the A, which means Sadahara O scores. Heavy Johnson on the A, who is a 44, starts in home plate here, looks at second, the throw's coming in, and he goes all the way to third base. So you have a double. Taking third on the throw, which was not in time to get Sadahara O. That's a hit. Not an earned run because of the error, but another pip comes off the board on Leroy Matlock. Now batting, Andres Jimenez. And Jimenez is a sack 145. He's a sack 145. And that's not a danger to bunt, so they're going to play back with a runner on third. You can't drag bunt anyway, and so spin the pitcher. Spinning a Leroy Matlock, and he spins a B. Andres Jimenez spins a 10. 10 is a strikeout. So that's the third out in the inning. But in the inning, they score 2. And Rage is now winning 2-0. We get him off the board, and we move to the top of the second inning. Coming to bat for Terror is Irish Musell, sack 332. We're going to bring Nolan Arenado in at third. Sadahara O stays back. So Irish Musell says spin the pitcher. He does. Ed Killian spins a home run minus. Irish Musell spins a 13. That's a single. Base hit. Lose a pip. Irish Musell is a 32, so I'm going to find a 2 and a 3. Put them over here. And we've lost our pip. There's nobody out. We're still having a good time. We're in the second inning. All right. Upcoming now is Glenn Davis. He's a sack 0-1-3. Good home run hitter. He does have a respin. So we have a runner on first with nobody out. Spin the pitcher. Pitcher spins. And it looks like a B from my angle there. It's a B. So that means spin Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis spins. And what does he get? That's an 8. That's a fly ball. So 1 out. With runners on base, like you can see, there's no need to make an error spin. All right, coming up now is the card that we got in because of the handicap. Bill Freehand, a 2 respin, not a danger to bunt. And good hitter there. Look at that card. That's a good card. All right, spin the pitcher. Holding the base runner, spinning the pitcher. Sadahara O is in here. Minus home run. Spinning Bill Freehand. Freehand spins a single. It goes anywhere, and they're not going to respin it. And the card on the outside will say where. This goes to left field. Goes over here. Offense will stop the runner at second and play safe. So with one out now, you have runners on first and second. Lose a pip. And Freehand is a 0-0, so he's on first base. And that's where we stand now. We have two runners on, one out, and that brings up Stephen Drew. Stephen Drew is up with one out. He's a sack 124. The infield will play back. Spin the pitcher. Lefty versus lefty. We have a minus home run. Need to move that over just a tad. There you go. Spinning Stephen Drew. And he spins a strikeout. Whoosh. 2 down. First strikeout for Killian. That brings up the center fielder, Oddibe McDowell, sack 145. Nolan Arenado's not going to take any chances. He's going to play in. Other people are back. Oddibe says spin the pitcher. He's not going to bunt. Killian spins, another home run minus. Oddibe McDowell spins and spins a 6, which is ground ball middle. The middle infielders are Vern Stevens, a 43, and Andres Jimenez, a 55, so there is no danger of the ball getting through. And with runners on base, that is a ground out for the third out. No runs across for Terror. Rage coming to bat now, clear the bases. Rage coming to bat now in the bottom of the second. Brings up their shortstop, Vern Stevens. Stevens is a 1-1-1, not going to probably bunt. The infield will play back. Leroy Matlock spins, and he gets a B. Vern Stevens spins, and he spins a 10. That's a strikeout. 1 down. Brings up Nolan Arenado, sack 0-1-2. We're using the Nolan Arenado from the, let's see what set it's from, the 2019 Nolan Arenado. Here we go. Spin the pitcher. Looks like a B. So we're going to spin Nolan Arenado. It's in a Rockies uniform, so you know it's a while back. And he spins a 7. That's a base hit. Lose a pip. Nolan's on first base. Third hit for Rage. Nolan is a 1-2. So I'll put a 1 out here and a 2 next to it. And that brings up the catcher, Biz Mackey, sack 331. They're going to hold on Oddibe, or no, excuse me, Nolan. They're going to hold on Nolan Arenado. And Biz, with 1 out, is not going to sacrifice bunt. They're going to spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher, and he gets a home run minus. Biz Mackey spins. What do you get, Biz? Looks like a 5. My goodness, that's a triple. Now, Leroy Matlock is going to use one of his respins. You can see that. And spinning Biz Mackey again. He takes the triple away, and Biz gets a 6 as a ground ball up the middle. Spinning the ground ball card, it goes to the second baseman. The second baseman is Rod Carew. He's a 23. So 23 is the number on the outside that we're looking for. P3, he's a P2. So the offense will get to choose between the A and the D because he's a P2. You can see that landed on the P3. So that'll be an A. That moves the runner up, but the batter is out. So Mackey grounds out, much better than a triple, for the second out of the inning. That brings up Ty Cobb, a 355. Tried to drag bunt, fouled it off last time. Infield's in at the corners. Gonna say, spin the pitcher. Matlock spins a B. Cobb's up. Cobb spins. Looks like a 6. Ty Cobb in the second inning is going to use a batter respin. He spins and gets a 12. That's a ground ball oppo. That means it's over here. Okay? Now, because that infield's in, we spin the ground ball card, no need for an error spin, it's a location spin. If it lands on the third baseman right here, if it lands in that spot, Cobb gets a base hit. Anywhere else, and he's out. Let's spin it and see where it goes. Look at that, it lands on third base. That's a single to left field, okay? The runner's rounding third, the coach is sending him. The left fielder throws the ball to second base, allowing the run to score. So, Rage gets a base hit, Cobb drives in a run, and that's an earned run. Nolan Arenado scores. You lose a pip. Cobb's a 55 plus on first base. And now you have 2 outs and a really fast runner on and a really good hitter up with Oscar Charleston. So Cobb is going to do a full count hit and run instead of worrying about stealing a base. They're going to take off on a full count. So the infield's back. Here goes. This says anything but batter misses pitch. So it's a B on a normal hit and run. That would be spin the batter, don't spin the pitcher. But on this one, it is spin the pitcher. And the pitcher gets a B. That brings up Oscar. And Oscar spins and gets, oh boy, looks like a double. Looks like a double. Now, on this, because Cobb's a fast runner, a 5.5 plus, he will automatically score on this double unless Matlock makes him respin it. And Matlock is going to use his final respin on this double from Oscar Charleston. And here's Charleston right here, spinning again, being forced to. And he spins a 12 because the infield's back with 2 outs. That's the third out. But they do score 1 at the end of 2 innings. The score, Rage 3, Terror 0. Here we go to the top of the third. Willie Keeler's up, 355 plus, facing Ed Killian. Killian is, they're going to play the infield in at first and third. Sadahar O and Nolan Arenado both move in. And Keeler says, spin the pitcher. So they spin Ed Killian. Killian spins a G, ground ball. Anything but the E, and he is out. He is out. 1 away. Up comes Rod Carew. He's a sack 343. They're going to play the infield in at the corners, first and third. Spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher. Killian spins a home run minus. Rod Carew, who got hit by a pitch last time, spins a 10. That's a strikeout. A second strikeout for Ed Killian. And here comes Cal McVeigh, 0-25, spin the pitcher. Cal McVeigh is going to bat. He spins a B to Cal McVeigh. McVeigh spins. And it looks like a 13. It is. That's a single. Okay. Got a runner on first. There was nobody else on. We didn't clear the bases. Cal McVeigh is on. He's a 2.5 plus. So you got a 2.5 plus out there. Lose a pip. And brings up Harmon Killebrew with Cal McVeigh on. They'll hold on Cal McVeigh. Killebrew says spin the pitcher. And they spin a home run minus. That's a home run minus. Killebrew spins. and walks. That's a walk. So lose a pip, advance the runner. Killebrew is a 0-1. So we have 2 runners on with 2 outs. That brings up Irish Muselle. No bunting here, spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher. Now, as you can see, the more familiar that I become with these players, the quicker the game will move. But no, it's not happening. He's a 32 with 2 outs. I need a base hit here. I don't need a bunt single, leave it up to Glenn Davis. Irish Muselle spins a 4. With 2 outs and 2 on, trailing by 3, Irish Muselle has a respin. We're going to use it right now. So I mark that down so I don't lose track. And he's going to respin his card. Muselle spins. And look at that. Look at that. He spins a double. So that's going to score this runner. He's going to go to third. And Irish Muselle, who is a 3-2, is going to wind up at second base. You're going to lose a pip here. A double for Irish Muselle on his respin. Drives in a run. It's 2 for 2 for Irish. And that brings up Glenn Davis. No sacrificing here. Bill Freehand's on deck. Freehand does have 2 respins. Glenn Davis has 1. You're in a dangerous part of the game right here. Spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher. Ed Killian spins a B. Glenn Davis is up. And he spins, look at that, a strikeout. No batting coach to take that away. So that's just a bad swing right there. 3rd strikeout, but they do score 1. And after 2.5 to score, 3-1, rage over terror. Clear the bases this time like we didn't do last time. Get him out of there. And now we're going to lead off the inning with Ted Williams. Sack 2, 1-3, the infield's back. Williams is not a drag bunt threat. Spinning Matlock. Matlock spins a B. Teddy Ballgame comes in. I'm going to straighten my spinner out a little bit. Kind of gets off kilter a little bit there. Spinning Teddy Ballgame, and Ted Williams spins an 8. We're going to let that fly. We're in the lead. It's the 3rd. We'll spin the outfield card. If it lands on an E, it's an error. It is not. So that's 1 out. That brings up Satahara O. Spin the pitcher. Matlock spins. Home run minus. Spinning Satahara O. And O spins. Looks like an 8. That's a fly ball. Error or not? No error. 2 down. 2 away. That brings up Heavy Johnson. Heavy's at 344. They'll move the infield in at the corners for Heavy. He doubled last time and drove in a run. They'll spin the pitcher. Looks like a minus K. So if Heavy spins that 10, he gets to respin. He spins an infield pop-up. That's a 14 for the 3rd out. No runs, nobody on. So after 3 complete, Rage 3, Terror 1. Going to the top of the 4th. Bill Freehand's up, not a threat to bunt. Nobody moves, they're playing normal defense. Killian spins a B. Freehand comes up. Freehand spins 6, middle grounder, error spin. Not an error. So 1 out. No need for a location spin. The infielders in the middle are too good. That brings up Stephen Drew. Sack 124, infield's back. Spin the pitcher. As a sack 1, too dangerous to make an out. Looks like a home run minus. Stephen Drew spins. Looks like an 8, fly ball again. Not an error, 2 outs. That brings up O to B McDowell. He's a sack 145. Nolan Arenado will play in just in case. Spin the pitcher. Spins the pitcher. And the pitcher spins a G. Lands on the error. It's an error. Otherwise, nothing happens. And that's the 3rd out in the inning. So after 3.5 innings of play, the score remains 3-1. Rage over Terror. And here goes Andres Jimenez, sack 145 plus. They'll move the third baseman Harmon Killebrew to play in a tad right there. Here goes Leroy Matlock. That's a W minus. Yeah, I guess the lamps, let's see if I can show you that here. The lamp's bleaching out the line. You can see the line right there. If I turn those off, does that make it better for you guys? Not really. That light up above, that strobe light's killing us, isn't it? What if I kill that strobe light? How about that? How about that? I'll kill that strobe light and we'll have a good old time right here. How about that? Let me move my headphone cord. Okay, I'm back in the ball game now. All right, let's see what I got here. Got to get situated. Got it. Okay, Andres Jimenez is up with nobody out, nobody on. Infield will play in at third. He will not bunt. We got a W minus to Matlock. Jimenez spins. And it looks like a 13. It is a 13. That's a base hit. No respins for him. That's a single. Puts a runner at first. Fifth hit given up. Lose a pip. Andres Jimenez is a 45 plus. So I'll find the 4 and the 5. And he's a plus, so he can move. He can motor. Now you have Vern Stevens up. So with Jimenez up, I'm going to try to steal second off a freehand. Stealing bases card goes in. Outer ring, or hold the runner on. Outer ring, and it says S5. Okay, so he loses. He's only a 4. So the defense gets to choose between the X and the S. X is out, S is safe. They'll choose the X. So Andres Jimenez is caught stealing. He's eliminated, and since a runner is eliminated, you gain a pip back. You eliminate a runner, you gain a pip back. A force play does not eliminate a runner. A caught stealing, a double play, a triple play, those eliminate runners. This was a caught stealing, so you gain a pip. So he's back to 5. Spin the pitcher for Vern Stevens, not a bunt guy, and he gets a B. Stevens spins and spins at 2. That's a grounder. If it lands on the E, it's an error. It does not. That's the second out of the inning. That brings up Nolan Arenado, no bunt. Spin the pitcher. That looks like a B. Spinning Nolan Arenado. What do you got? It's a 6, middle grounder, spinning the ground ball, and it lands on the E. That's an error. Now let's see who makes the error. And it's the second baseman. So you have an E4. And that's on Rod Carew. Okay, lose a pip. Nolan is a 1-2. So he goes to first base. Right there. All right. There you go. That brings up Biz Mackey. Not really a threat to bunt. He's a 31 runner. I'm not going to do it, but they'll hold the runner on. So that bunt prevention, holding the runner too. So it's steal prevention, bunt prevention. Spin the pitcher. Leroy Matlock spins and gets a BG line. No, it's on the B. It's on the B. I'm going to make the call. That's a B. Spinning Biz. And Biz spins a 14, and that's the third out of the inning. Let's see if Biz has a respin. He does, but I'm not going to use it this early for him. He's only got 1. So that's a pop-up in the infield. No runs for Rage. So at the end of 4 innings of play, the score is now still 3-1 Rage over Terror. That brings up Willie Keeler. The infield will move in for Keeler at first and third. Spin the pitcher. He's not going to bunt. He's going to try to get on. The spin is a H minus. So Keeler, you're going to have to do it twice unless you walk. What do you got? That is a 6. That's a ground ball up the middle. We're in the 5th inning. Willie Keeler's going to use his respin right now. I don't mind using respins for a leadoff hitter, especially a good one like Keeler. I mean, look at the size of this 13 right here, and the 7 and the 5. This guy can get on base. I have almost a 90-degree shot at getting this guy on. So let's get it happening here. Let's go. And he walks. A 9's a walk. So the respin comes into play. You have a walk. You're going to lose a pip. Let's see. He started out with... He's an 8, 1 is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. He's down to 2 pips. Keeler is a 5.5 plus. Very fast runner with Rod Carew up to bat. With Rod Carew up to bat, Willie Keeler is going to try to steal off of Biz Mackey and the lefty. Spinning the stealing bases card. Infield's in at the corners. And we get an H. That means the runner holds, spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher, and he gets a walk minus. Carew gets a 4, and he has a respin, and he's going to use it now. So it looks to me like Terror is going for it in the 5th inning. They're going for it. Here's the spin. And what do we got? Oh boy, that's right in the middle of the 5, guys. That is right smack dab in the middle of the 5. You can't respin a respin, so that respin's moot. He's a triple. Bam, 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 scores. Carew is a 43. Goes to third base. Look at that. A triple by Rod Carew on using a respin. That's pretty cool, huh? Lose a pip, and that's going to get some activity up in the bullpen for Rage. They're going to get up Brian Harvey, and they're going to get up Dick Raditz. So they're getting 2 heavy hitters out there right now up in the bullpen. They're getting 2 big boys up, and we put them in my bullpen stand. You gotta remember, man, I got this game. I made this game. I have all kinds of cool stuff in my game. Yeah. All right, so I have bullpen going, and there are, what do I got? Nobody out with a runner on third. He's down to 1 pip and 1 respin, so anything happening here is not gonna be good. The ratings for these guys, Raditz is a 2, so he needs 2 spins to warm up. Harvey's a 1, so these guys will be warmed up very, very quickly. Cal McVeigh is the hitter, sack 0.25 plus. That's the tying run. I'm moving the infield in to cut off the run at home plate on a ground ball. Let's see what happens. The pitcher spins and has a BG line. Killian is a left-hander. Cal McVeigh is a right-handed batter. You can see that he bats right-handed. That gives him the advantage between the 2 adjacent results on the line. Okay, now McGraw out here does have 2 challenges. He could use a challenge now and challenge this as a BG and hope for a good play at the plate, or he could just let it ride. But he's got the infield in, and he's got Nolan Arenado, and so we're going to have our first instant replay. Okay. We'll star that. It's on a BG line. So the challenger is Rage, and they're going to spin first on this card. The spin that they get results in an 11. Okay, an 11. And now the challengee spins and their spin results in a 5. So the call on the field is overturned. The ball is a ground ball to the infield. We'll see where it goes. And it goes to the second baseman. The second baseman is Andres Jimenez. He's a 5-5. So the ball's hit to the second baseman. There's going to be a play at the plate. So we'll go get the ground ball play at the plate card. And we go by the outer ring right here. Outer ring, here we go. Let's see if that can go away. If I do that, does that make that go away? Yes, it does. That's much better. Okay, here it is. Here it is. P3. Ball hits to the second baseman is a P5. So the offense doesn't get to choose. The defense does. The FC would be a throw to the plate, safe, runner at first, safe. However, H is batter runner is out, runner at third holds. So Jimenez looks the runner back, and the runner does not advance. Does not advance. Pow, pow, pow. Okay, so we are now at a 3-2 game. Cal McVeigh is out. The runner holds. Take that infield card there and put it back in the stack. That brings up with 1 out, Harmon Killebrew. So the infield's now going to stay in. Now, how would you like to be the third baseman right now with a slow left-handed pitcher like Killian pitching, and you got Harmon Killebrew, a dead pull hitter that hits the ball 150 miles an hour, looking you in the eye. Spin the pitcher. Let's see how good you are, Nolan Arenado. What do we got? Looks like a B. Killebrew spins. And spins a 9. That's a walk. All right. Now, a lot of things happen right here. Killebrew's is 0-1. So you put the 0 and the 1 out here on first base. You lose a pip, and that takes him down to no pips. And the sign says right there, fatigue. He is fatigued. That G is no longer a ground ball, it's a B. That W minus is no longer a W minus, it's a B. The F is a B. The H minus is a B. The home run minus is a B. So his card is pretty much a B. All right? So with 2 outs, 1 out, and the batter is now Irish Musiel. My bullpen is loose here in the 5th inning. I'm going to let him go one more batter, and I'm going to try to use that respin if I can. The infield is in at first and third, back at second and short to play for the double play. Spin the pitcher. Here it goes. The pitcher spins, and it's a B. Remember, that whole thing's a B because he's fatigued. Irish Musiel spins and gets a, what do you got? A 2 ground ball. Irish Musiel has already used his respin. The ground ball is to this side. So if it lands up at the top of the infield card, that'll be middle. If it lands at the bottom of the infield card, we got to play at the plate. Here we go. But we had to change the battery right in the middle of a spin, so we're going to respin that just to show you here what's going on. Wow, that was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Let's see if we can do something here. That's good. Okay, so we'll spin that ground ball card and see where it goes. It's going to go to the shortstop, so they're going to try to turn 2. If they fail to turn 2, the runner will score. Shortstop is Vern Stevens. He's a 43 that lands on the 33. So the offense loses, the defense wins. They can choose force or runner advances. Either way, it's not a double play. They're going to choose a force at second, a fielder's choice. And that's an RBI for Irish Musiel. Let's see where we're at with him. That's his second RBI of the day. The run scores. And that ties up the ball game. So, you go out, Score, Musel is a 32. Standing first. And now there are 2 away. Okay. Could have used a manager respin on that, but I'm not going to. I'm good with that. We'll let it ride. It's still the 5th inning, so we're still good. Brings up Glenn Davis with the runner on first and 2 outs. Hold the runner. Spin the pitcher. Spins a home run minus. Glenn Davis spins. And it looks like it's a 12. That's over this way, okay? If it lands on the first baseman, that's going to be a base hit. That means if it lands right there, spinning that. It does not. That's the 3rd out of the inning. 2-run score, and that ties the game at 3-3 going into the bottom of the 5th. Wow, what a ball game here between rage and terror. Now, the manager, John McGraw, or Leo DeRocher makes an executive decision and tells Ed Killian, pats him on the back, smiles and says, "You're done." So Killian is done, and to do that, I remove him. Now I know that I need to replace my pitcher. Okay? I know that I need to replace him. So I will when it comes time for the inning to go. All right. But they're still sticking with Leroy Matlock. However, Rage has got bullpen. Terror is also going to get some bullpen. They're going to get up Ron Peranowski as well as Johnny Sane. So Johnny Sane and Ron Peranowski are warming up in the Terror bullpen. Peranowski's a 2, Sane's a 7. So let's go for the game. Matlock pitching to Ty Cobb. The infield is in at the corners, both 3rd and 1st. 3rd and 1st in. Spin the pitcher. Cobb says spin the pitcher. Cobb takes the bat. I know what I need to do real quick. I need some help right here, and I'm going to get it with this right here. And I'm going to make that just a hair bigger so we can see Ty Cobb. What do you say? That make it look a little better? Okay. We did it. That makes it look a little bit better, cleaner. Okay, Cobb's up. You got a B. Here goes Ty Cobb. Cobb gets a 13. That's a single. So in the 5th inning, Ty Cobb leads off with a base hit. 6th hit given up by Leroy Matlock. Lose a pip. Ty Cobb's a 55 runner. He's on first base. That brings up Oscar Charleston, sack 355 plus. Ty Cobb's up and running on the pitch for the simple hit and run. Not a full count hit and run, but a simple hit and run. Not trying to steal a base, trying to get an extra base on a grounder, stay out of the double play. F is a foul ball, spin the pitcher. So we spin the pitcher. The pitcher spins a home run minus. Oscar Charleston spins a 13. No respins left for Matlock. 13's a single. Let's see where it's to. It's anywhere. Let's see where it's to, and it is to center field. Offense says Cobb will go to 3rd. The defense says I will throw the ball to 2nd. We'll let it go 1st and 3rd. McDowell's good, but he ain't that good, okay? So Cobb goes here, Oscar Charleston goes here, lose a pip there, and we've had, looks like 4 spins so far, okay? And that brings up Teddy Ballgame, actually 5 spins. That brings up Teddy Ballgame with 1st and 3rd. The infield is moving in to cut off that winning go-ahead run. Spin the pitcher. Pitcher spins a B. Teddy Ballgame with 2 respins. And he spins his spin and gets a walk. So the bases are loaded with nobody out. Lose a pip. Advance to second. Williams is a 1-3. And that brings up Sadahara O. What do? Are you going to bring in a reliever? He's got 1 pip left and no respins. If I bring in Perinoski has 2 respins and he's a lefty and gains the lines. Do you change pitchers right now in a tie ball game? It's 3-3 in the 5th. Or do you bring the infield in and say, Sadahara O, let's see what you got. I am going for the lesser of 2 evils, and I'm going to change pitchers right now, and I'm going to bring in Ron Perinoski. So the Leroy Matlock goes 4+, and he's responsible for all those runners, but he is done. Perinoski comes in, he's a 2-2, so he gets 4 pips and 2 respins. So there's our situation now. And you got Sadahara O. Infield is completely in. The infield has moved in. I'm going to move myself to the center of the diamond once again. Center up. Okay. Infield is in. Spin the pitcher. Perinoski. Looks like a B. Sadahara O. 21-point first baseman spins a walk. They cannot make him respin a walk unless Perinoski has a walk minus. He does not. He has a W. So that is a walk by Perinoski. All runners advance 1 base, and they score the go-ahead run on a walk to Sadahara O. The run is charged to Leroy Matlock. Runners move up. Sadahara O is a 2-2. So he's on first base. Still nobody out, and that brings up Heavy Johnson. Sack 344. Again, the infield is in. They're trying to cut this down, man. All right, Perinoski loses a pip because he walked a guy. They're going to get another bullpen guy up out there to accompany Johnny Sane, and that's going to be Joe Price. Joe Price is up now. He's an S4+0, but a lefty. So he's up in the bullpen. Spin the pitcher because Heavy Johnson ain't button. Perinoski spins. Looks like a B to me. Here's Heavy Johnson. Heavy Johnson. That's a 14. Heavy Johnson's going to use one of his only respin. Does he get 1 or 2? He gets 2. He's using one of them right now. There's his respin. And he hits a grand slam home run on a respin. Heavy Johnson hits a grand slam respin. That is what I'm talking about, star power baseball, guys. I changed the odds. I got a respin with Heavy Johnson, who took advantage of it and hits a home run. First home run in the game, but it's a killer. A grand slam. Now it's turned into a 5-run inning. We used a respin this inning to hit a home run with. Wow. Pretty astounding, if you ask me. Astounding. Amazing. That brings up Andres Jimenez, sack 145+. Spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher. Infield's in at third base. He spins a B. Andres Jimenez spins and spins. Look at that. We have back-to-back home runs off of Perinoski. We brought in Perinoski to try to stop the bleeding, and all he did was deepen the wound. Not good. Bad form, Perinoski. He's faced 3 batters, and all 3 of them have reached base, and all 3 of them have scored. Not a good game for Perinoski at all, guys. Very, very bad outing for Ron Perinoski. Okay, he's down to 1 pip. That brings up Vern Stevens, spin the pitcher. Perinoski spins, and spins a B. Vern Stevens, 12-point shortstop, spins a 12-point shortstop, spins a 12. That's an oppo grounder over here. Not an error. 1 out. That brings up smoking Nolan Arenado. Spin the pitcher. Sack 0, don't have to move the defense. That's a B. Arenado spins. And he spins a 7. That's a base hit. Perinoski will use a respin to stop the bleeding. Spinning Arenado again, and he spins a 4. Spinning the outfield card, anything but the error. It's not on the error, so that's 2 outs. And that brings up Biz Mackey, the catcher, spinning the pitcher with 2 outs. Biz gets a B from Perinoski and spins a, oh boy, that is a 313 line. Okay, Biz is a bats both, so he will choose between the 3 and the 13. He's going to choose the 3, no respin Ron on a 3. So here comes the 3 card out. You can't respin a 3. Spin that first and we get a 1. On a number 1. Let's put that in a place where we can read it better. The ball is hit between the outfielders. Spin the outfield card to determine the location. They collide and the ball rolls to the wall. So the ball goes to here. It's hit to center field and the ball's between the center fielder and the right fielder. They hit the wall. Ball hits the wall. Use the batter's S rating. Spin the master 3 card. That's the one that's already on the board. If the batter's S rating equal or exceeds the result, he's safe at home with an inside the park home run. S rating of 3. If it is lower, then the result is safe at third. All runners will score. So here we go. He spins a, what does he get? A 4. Well, he's a 3, so he doesn't beat it, but instead he gets a triple. So Biz Mackey hits a triple off of a 3. And this does quite a bit more too. So the 3 is done. Put that away. Lose a pip. That's a big thing because now Perinoski's tired. Biz Mackey is a 31, standing over there huffing and puffing at third base, as catchers will tend to do. And Perinoski's tired, so his whole card basically is a B now, and he has to face Ty Cobb. Runner on third, I don't have to worry about a drag bunt. 2 outs, I don't have to worry about a sacrifice, so the infield's back. Spin the pitcher. Perinoski spins and gets a B. Home run minus is a B. Spinning Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb, who's already used 1 respin, spins a 13. That's a single. Perinoski will use his remaining respin, making Cobb respin. Cobb respins with a runner on third, and this time he spins a 9. That's a walk. They've batted around. Perinoski's done. Didn't want to do it. Cobb's a 55 plus. Didn't want to do it, but I've got to do it. I've got to take him out of the game. He's gone. That's going to bring in Joe Price. He's an S4 plus 0, so he gets 4 pips. Okay. And you have runners at first and third. With 2 outs, Cobb's just going to hold. They will hold the runner at first. Spinning Joe Price. Price spins a G. Oscar Charleston has 2 respins. He does have 2 respins. He's going to make Joe Price respin that out. So he respins it and spins a B. Here's Oscar. Trying to stick the dagger in is what they're trying to do. He spins a 10. The Rage has their manager in the game, and Leo goes, batting coach, talk to that guy, and they give him a respin off the 10. So you now have a batting coach respin. We've had a pitcher respin, now a batting coach respin, and here comes Oscar Charleston. And capitalizes on it and spins a double. That's his second double in this inning. And that's going to score the runner from third, Biz Mackey. Cobb, who was holding, is going to try to score also. So the ball's hit to the outfield. Cobb's rounding third. Ball's hit to the center fielder. Center fielder is O.B. McDowell's a 52. So Cobb's going to try to run. They're going to throw the ball to third base. They cannot risk Charleston getting to third. And Cobb scores easily from first. His second run in the inning. Charleston, second RBI right there. That's a hit off of Price. And the runs are charged to let's see here. The runs charged to Paranowski 1 and Price 1. Okay, that puts Charleston at second. With 2 outs, lose a pip. Brings up Teddy Ballgame. Lefty, lefty, here we go, Joe Price. Let's do that better, that came off that. Didn't go 3 times, there you go. Got a B for Teddy Ballgame. Spinning Ted Williams. Ted spins a, guys, I'm looking at it real close. It's an 8-5 line. 8-5 line. And DeRocher's not going to challenge it. We got lefty, lefty. That's a fly ball. Instead, Ted Williams is going to use a respin. Bam. There he goes. And he gets a strikeout. 10-6 line. That's a K. Strikeout for Price. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs score in this inning. That's the wisest use of respins that I can demonstrate to you right there. That is a very, very wise use of respins, and they just came and played out for me. I got very, very fortunate that they played out for me, and now I have to put in a new pitcher for the top of the 6th for Rage, and they're going to go with Dick Raditz. Raditz, you can see, is a 2-2. That's a 4, and he gets 2 respins. So on the gray pips, I'm going a 4 with 2 respins. Now, I'm going to warm up somebody else in the bullpen for Terror. I'm going to get up Steve Trout. There's Steve Trout. He's getting up in the bullpen in case I need a long reliever. And with the score, 11-3, I don't know that it's going to matter. Dick Raditz is up for Rage, and batting now for Terror is Bill Freehand. The infield's back. Spin Dick Raditz. Raditz spins, and it looks like an H minus. Let's see if I can make that a little better here so we can see the line. See here, there it is, okay. Let's see here. Boy, I just can't get that glare off of there. What if I turn that off? There you go. Oh yeah, much, much better, isn't it? Much better. There we go. Okay. H minus. Bill Freehand spins. And that's a hit minus, so that 13 is taken away without using a respin. It's just a minus hit. But he spins it right back at him. So Raditz gives up a 13 to Bill Freehand. The sixth inning, Freehand is a 0-0 base runner. Lose a pip, down to 3, and that brings up Stephen Drew. They will not hold the runner on. He's a double knot, like Jethro, double knot spy. And that's a big time K right there. Sit down, Bill. Can't make me respin that. That's 1 down. That brings up Odeby McDowell. 145, spin the pitcher. Spinning the pitcher, and he gets a Z. That's a wild pitch. They're going to use their pitching coach and get to respin that. Respinning it, and it's a B. Spinning Odeby. Odeby spins at 12. He does not have any respins. He's left-handed, so the ball's hit to this side of the infield. Nolan Arenado or Vern Stevens, it's hit to the second base, which would be a middle infielder. That'll go to the shortstop. Spin it. Stevens is a 43. I have a 34. So the offense wins this because I don't win on the 4 and I don't win on the 3. The R and the P and the R, I don't win either way. So the offense wins this, and you're going to have their choice between a force and a double play. They're going to take the fielder's choice. So that puts Bill Freehand out and Odeby at first base, and he is a 45. Okay, so you got 2 outs now. That brings up Willie Keeler, and they're going to send, with 8-run deficit, they're not. They're just going to spin the pitcher. The infield is not even going to move in because if he wants to bunt, he can. They'll give it to him. They're going to play it just like this. Keeler spins an 8. He's already used his respin. That's the 3rd out in the inning. Get close and I'll start using respins and drag bunts, but with an 8-run deficit, there's really no sense in doing it. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. You still have Joe Price in. He's got 3 pips left. Brings up Sadahara O. Spin the pitcher. Joe Price spins. Gets a B. Sadahara O. I like this guy. Did he hit a grand slam? Didn't Sadahara O? Yes, he did. No, Heavy Johnson hit the grand slam. Here's Sadahara O. 2 is a pulled grounder. O has not used a respin. He's going to use it. Spinning a respin on the 6th inning. He spins a 13. That's a single. What you have to remember about these players, they are major leaguers and they're playing for money. So that could be an incentive on his paycheck. That's why he used the respin and the leadoff hitter. I told you I love to use respins on leadoff hitters. I enjoy it. Brings up Heavy Grand Slam Johnson. Heavy's used 1 of his 2 respins. They will not hold the runner. He spins a G. That's a ground ball. Heavy will not use his second respin. Spinning the ground ball card, that goes to the shortstop. The shortstop over there is Stephen Drew. Drew is a 52. Let's see what happens. On a 5-2, he's a 2-2, so Drew gets to choose between the A and the F. A is advance, F is a fielder's choice. He'll take the fielder's choice. Heavy Johnson goes to first, and Sadahara O is forced out at second. 1 down. That brings up Andres Jimenez. Spin the pitcher. They're not running with an 8-run lead. His spin's a B. HH line. A 10. 10's a strikeout. They've already used their batting coach, so that is 2 outs now. Second strikeout for Price. That brings up Vern Stevens. Spin the pitcher. And he spins a K, so that's the 3rd out. K is a strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Price. No runs in the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th. Dick Raditz is an R2, so he can still pitch. He's still doing well. So is Price. Price isn't doing too terrible. Raditz is pitching to Rod Carew. The infield is into corners. Carew's not going to bunt, but he can get that 12 or 2. He gets a home run minus. Carew spins a single. So Raditz gives up a base knock to Rod Carew. Okay, so we take Carew, who's a 43, put him over here at first base. Now, lose a pip. You can see that I don't put the guys right there on their base. I put it to where they look like they're running, because that's the purpose of that diamond, is to just keep track of where they are. That brings up Kyle McVeigh. He's a sack 0, so they'll hold the runner. Moving ahead, Raditz is spinning, and he spins a B. Cal McVeigh does have 2 respins, has not used any yet. He spins a double, that's an 11. Dick Raditz is going to use one of his respins and make him respin that. Respin in the double, and he gets a, 14's infield pop-up. 1 out. You can't respin a respin. Sorry, Cal. Harmon Killebrew's up now. Spin the pitcher. Hold the runner. Killebrew gets a hit minus, and he spins a single. That's a hit minus. He must respin that. And now he spins a ground ball pulled, either third or short. It goes to the shortstop, Vern Stevens. And I need to see if a 42 wins. Vern Stevens is a 43. He does win. He can choose advance or fielder's choice. He'll take the fielder's choice. So you have 2 outs now, and Killebrew, who's a 0-1, is on first base. 2 outs for Irish Musiel. Not even holding the runner, will not advance, spin the pitcher. You got a B, spin the batter. A 6 is a ground ball. Musiel has used his respin, so that is the 3rd out of the inning. In the 7th inning, they go pretty quietly with a couple of force plays, and Raditz giving up a lot of ground balls. Okay, Joe Price cruising right along. He's still got 2 pips left, but you know that Dick Raditz will not see any more baseball today. They take him out and move him into the thank you very much pile. Okay, so that brings up Nolan Arenado. Not going to bunt. Joe Price spins, and he spins a B. Nolan Arenado spins, and it looks like a 12. That's an oppo grounder. Error spin, not an error, 1 down. Spin the pitcher. Biz Mackey is up. That's an H minus. That means if Biz spins a hit, you got a respin him. Biz spins, and it looks like a walk, and it is. You can't respin a walk. So Biz goes to first base, loses pip. He's a 3-1. That brings up Tyrus Raymond Cobb. Ty Cobb is the batter right now, and Cobb, they're not going to bunt. So the infield's playing behind the runner in the 7th inning. They're not going to run with an 8-run lead. Spin the pitcher. Joe Price to Ty Cobb, spins a B. Cobb, ruthless as he is, has 1 remaining respin. Spin the batter. Cobb walks. And that's going to tire out Joe Price. Cobb goes to first. He's a 5-5. Plus, that's going to do it for Joe Price. So Price goes here. And he goes 2 innings. No, 1 2/3. Goes 1 2/3 innings, and they're going to bring in Johnny Sane. Sane is a 7 innings plus 1, so he gets 8 pips. Put those there, plus 1 respin. There he is. So now your game is set. Your game is all set. Heavy Johnson, Heavy Grand Slam Johnson is the hitter. I mean, Oscar Charleston. Well, I wished it was Heavy Johnson. I'm a fan of Heavy Johnson. I like the name, I like the card. 2 respin god, big time. All right, spin the pitcher. You got 1 out, first and second. That's a B. Same to Charleston. Oscar spins a single. Sane will not make him respin. The runner will stop at third. Charleston's a 55 plus. He's at first, and you have the bases loaded. So a base hit given up by Sane. He loses a pip. That brings up Teddy Ballgame with the bases jammed. Bases loaded for Teddy Thumper. Here we go. Spin the pitcher. Infield's in. Can't give up any more runs. Looks like a hit minus. I call that a hit minus. Williams gets a 10. They've already used their batting coach. Teddy Ballgames go down swinging. 2 away. Satahara O. Spin the pitcher. What do you got? That is a line BK minus. They'll take the B because you have a righty and a lefty. The lefty gets the choice, takes the B. Satahara O with the bases loaded. And he spins a 13. Sane will make him respin that. There's the danger right there. And he spins a 6, ground ball. The Sane pays off. That's the 3rd out, and they don't score, and they leave the bases loaded. Sane comes in and shuts it down. Whew. That was a tight inning right there. That was tough. New pitcher for Rage is going to be Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey is a 1-4. So he gets 5 pips and 4 respins. That's pretty doggone effective. They're going to warm up somebody else in the bullpen with an 8-run lead. They're going to warm up a guy named Donnie Moore. Yes, that Donnie Moore that gave up the home run, the old Angels pitcher. They're going to warm him up. He is a 2-1, so he needs 2 spins to warm up. Brian Harvey's pitching to Glenn Davis. Spin the pitcher. Spinning Harvey. Harvey spins a B. Glenn Davis spins. And it looks like an 8. He's going to use his respin. His only respin, and he spins a 12. That's a ground ball. Error spin coming up right there. Not an error. 1 out. Time for Bill Freehand. Freehand, that slopped in there. There we go. Much better. Freehand has 2 respins remaining. He spins a KW line. No challenge can be made. They don't have a manager. Poor team. They're down by almost 100 points and they can't even call a challenge. Not their day. So that's a strikeout. 2 down. You can't use the respins. That card turned out to be a total waste. This was just doomed from the beginning when you lost your manager. Brings up Stephen Drew with 2 away. Brian Harvey spins. And spins a H minus to Stephen Drew. There's your H minus spin. And he gets a 4. That's a fly ball. The fly ball, well, let's see. That's a 9. That's a walk. My bad. So that's a walk. So he walks. You lose a pip. Stephen Drew's at 24. That brings up O to B. Spin the pitcher. They won't hold the runner. Hit minus. Takes away that single. There you go. And O to B spins a 2. That's a ground ball. They're not holding the runner. That is 3 outs. No runs in the 8th inning for Terror, who are getting thoroughly stomped this game. Johnny Sane pitching to Heavy Johnson. Sane pitches. And what do we got there? K minus. That's a K minus. See the line over it? That's a K minus. Heavy Johnson. 12's a grounder. And with this lead, they're not going to use the respin. And that's an out, no error. That was an error spin I just made, and that was no error. So that's one away. Here goes Johnny Sane pitching to Andres Jimenez. He gets a B. He spins. What do you got? A walk to Andres Jimenez. Oh, those bases on balls. Jimenez a 45 plus. Lose a pip. With one out, Vern Stevens. Sane throws an F. So that's 2 outs. And Nolan Arenado. What do you got? A B. Spins. And that is a 12. We're not holding the base runner because too late in the game. 3 outs. 8-run lead, they're not going to try one like that. They're not going to do that. That would be foolish. Brings us to the 9th inning. Brian Harvey has gone his 1 inning, and they're not going to tempt him to go 2. They're going to bring in Donnie Moore. He's got an 8-run lead. Nobody's warming up in the pen. He's an R2 plus 1, so that gives him 3 pips and 1 respin. And we have up now the top of the order, Willie Keeler. Hit them where they ain't. We're going to move the infield in at first and third because, hey, desperation calls for desperation. You might try to bunt. Spin the pitcher. Donnie Moore spins. Donnie Moore spins. What do you got? It looks like a KB line. Okay, a KB line. DeRocher's going to challenge it. Even though Keeler's got the lines, DeRocher's throwing out his second challenge. Just so you can see it, man. I want you guys to see what's up. This is the event card. Put it in. DeRocher's spin is a 10. Okay, let's move this back a little bit here. Let's do that. And the other spin is a 10. So it's a tie. On a tie, the call on the field, the call's not overturned, the call is not correct, the call on the field stands. So we have a K, B line. It's going to be a B. So that's the second one. Keeler gets a B. Challenge is done. That was nice to see a tie. Keeler gets a 6. That's a ground ball up the middle. Let's see what happens. Is it on the E? Not quite. So that's 2. That's an out. 1 down. That brings up Rod Carew. Infield is back again. No bunting now. What do we got? Home run minus. So Carew's not going to hit it out, which he never does anyway. He spins and spins a home run minus. So Carew, who I just said never spins a home run, just spun the home run. But Donnie Moore threw a good pitch, so it's a foul ball. Now, that hardly ever happens. That usually happens on the big home run guys, and here it happens to Carew. I love this game. So Carew has to respin. There we go. His second spin, he was trying for it all. He strikes out. I love this game. 2 away. Brings up Cal McVeigh. Spinning the pitcher. Donnie Moore spins. It looks like a K. It is a K. And boys and girls, this one's in the books. That's 3 outs. And they don't score. Okay. All right, let's put the final score down as 11-3. Now I'm going to make me big so I can kind of recap the game for you. All right, guys, I'm going to run a recap. I've got a score sheet right here in front of me, and I'm going to recap the game for you real quick, some of the cool stuff that happened in the game, and there was a lot of cool things that did happen in this game. First of all, we had a grand slam home run hit on a respin. That is just so cool. We had a replay where it was a tie. On a tie, the team that is being challenged wins the replay. There's not enough evidence to overturn the call. The call in the field stands. Okay? It's not correct and it's not overturned, it stands. So we had that happen. We had hit batters, didn't have any wild pitches. We had attempted inside the park home run, but he ran out of gas and stopped at third on a triple. So we had that happen. We didn't have anybody thrown out at home plate. We had, how many errors did we have? We had 2 errors in the game, one by Rod Carew and one by Harmon Killebrew. Twin errors by the Twins. How about that? That's pretty doggone cool. Okay? On those errors, one of them really was costly. It came back to score a run. So anyway, that's kind of a recap. Pitching wise, the pitchers for Rage wound up with 7 strikeouts, 4 walks, only gave up 7 hits. But they gave up 11 runs on those 7 hits. Those walks and those errors just killed them. For Terror, they gave up, no, I'm sorry, we got that wrong. That was the pitcher, Ed Killian, so that was Rage. Rage gave up 7 hits, 4 walks, and only gave up 4 runs. That was all. 3 runs, 11-3. Terror, on the other hand, scored bunches. The pitchers for Rage, starting with Matlock, gave up 7 hits. He struck out 2 and walked 1, gave up 4 earned. Peranowski pitched 2/3 of an inning, struck out nobody, walked 2. Price struck out 3, walked 2, gave up a run, and then Sane gave up a hit and a strikeout and a walk. 2 home runs given up back-to-back by Peranowski. 1 a grand slam by Heavy Johnson on a respin, which tickles me to death. But anyway, that is a complete game of Star Power Baseball with me taking you through every play. And I tried to play fairly slow so that you could see what was going on. Now, what we'd like for you to do on these videos on your page, if you don't mind, like it, share it, because it's going on YouTube, you know that. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel if you have not done that yet. Enjoy this game, watch it, and kind of refer to different things that are going on in the game. I think you'll like that. Any questions, you can text me or email me. Most of you've got my number, and most of you all have the instant messenger on Facebook. So hit us up and check that out. Cincinnati Dennis coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room on another episode of Star Power Baseball, a complete game between a mismatched team and that one big inning. It was a very biblical game. It all happened in the big inning. Till next time, we'll see you again on Star Power Baseball.